Today on Color Outside the Box podcast.
Or a discernment, right? If somebody's shooting you a line, if they stand in front of you, it's hard to hide it. It's hard to hide it. But if I'm just communicating with you over the phone or through social media, I can take it however I want to. I can fix those words up. I can have somebody say, what should I say?
Color Outside the Box is a podcast series that focuses on creating a better you. Whether it's advice about family, relationships, raising children in this technological world, marriage, or careers, we seek to find the answers to help you live your best life. So start your Monday morning off right with me, your hostess with the mostest, Princess Miller, on Color Outside the Box right here on iTunes and everywhere podcasts can be heard. On the Color Outside the Box podcast, I am your hostess, Princess Miller, and we are back with our very special guest, Mr. Tre Cook. Hey, Tre.
What's up, Prince?
How you doing?
I'm good. Are
you ready to get into this topic for today?
Well, I think I don't have any other choice but to be ready. I'm here.
We're going to be talking about relationships from a male perspective. I'm excited about this. A lot of men had, I actually had someone to listen to the last month's show and say, well, that's a really good, podcast. However, what about the male's perspective? So I wanted Tre to come in, who is a father, a husband, been married, 18 years this year?
This year will be 18.
18 years. He is the owner of Embrace Fitness Training Center. He is a personal trainer. He's a minister and he is a speaker. So this show is going to be good. I'm so excited to have you here, Tre.
I'm excited to be here.
Let's talk. Let's just dive into it because when I say I'm excited, I'm really excited about
Y'all
this show.
Y'all should see her face. She really is. Seriously.
So, marriage and relationships. The reason why I wanted to do this show is because we have a group of young people that's coming up, and their idea of marriage and relationship has strayed so far from what we were told and how we saw marriage portrayed growing up. A lot of them believe in open marriages. A lot of them believe that, a man is going to be a man and he's not meant to be with one woman. And so, you let your man go out there and do what he do. As long as he come back home and bring that chick home, everything is good. So let's talk about marriage and relationship. First off, Tre, what are some key indicators that let a woman know they're involved with this man and they want to know, do he really love me? Do he really want to be with me?
I think one of the first things you have to do is the question you ask is, do he really love me? I think the biggest key to that is understanding what love is. I think a lot of people have created what they think love is. And the only way you define love is by who love is, which is God. And God gives us an outline of what love looked like.
Yes.
Right? And a lot of people don't want to go to the source of love, which is God.
Yes.
Because that's amazing to me that they don't want to go to the source of love, which is God. But when they do their marriage vows, who do you do it unto?
Unto God.
You do it unto God.
At the church.
At the church. So the thing about it is, I think from the very beginning, you have to identify what love is. And then when it shows up in front of you, you can identify it. You can see it. Oh, okay. The Bible speaks about that. The Bible speaks about that. But I think the biggest thing is people build relationships on the wrong foundation.
Yes.
The foundation of the relationship should be love. But it's built on so many other things, like sex and things like that. And that's not a firm foundation because anybody that's been married for any length of time know that that's a benefit. That's not what it should be founded on.
Wow, that's good. That's good. And we talked about it last month with our guest Olympia Clopton, how it's it's not, it's dangerous in some respects. Very to dangerous. Make life choices based on how good someone is in the bedroom.
True that.
Or based on how good that person looks. And they are totally blinded to that person's true motives, what their heart is. And I think that's where a lot of these relationships develop, where you have people who say, well, you know, a man is a man. You know, he ain't built to be with just one woman. He got to go out and sow his royal oats, and he'll come back home. As long as he bringing his check to you, he's not hitting you, you know, you're good. Talk to us about that.
I think, first off, they got to stop watching Coming to America. Because that's where they got the sort of royal oat thing from, which is crazy. But at the same time, when it comes to, we have to, like I said, go back to the source. And God didn't create a man. You say a man's going to be a man. Okay, well, the thing about it is, if he's out and he's with this person, that person, is he really a man?
Hello. Yes.
It goes back to understanding what a man is. Right?
Yes.
You know, a lot of people think chronological age makes you a man. That's not what makes you a man. What makes you a man is your mental capacity of maturing. Right? And so many guys grow up with that mentality. This is what my dad did. This is what my grandfather did. This is how it's been in my family. Right? And then the crazy part about it is, it's some people that coaches girls, other females, that older females that coach younger girls to say, you know what, this is just something you're going to have to deal with, which is crazy because I have a daughter, right?
Yes.
I'm not going to tell my daughter that, you know what, you just have to understand that they're going to do that. No. Because if you wait on the right one, the one that God has for you, he ain't going to do that.
That's true.
And if your foundation is proper and you keep, and the thing about it, some people may say, it is built on love. I did love them, right? But it's something that you have to continue to nurture. A lot of people, a lot of guys mess up with what I got to get you, what I did to get you. I got you. I don't have to do that anymore.
Ooh, that's a good topic there.
I don't have to do that anymore. Wow. I got you. You here. And then instead of them being compassionate or whatever, or learning to be more compassionate, what they do is they're driven by their ego and their pride. And they say, I'm the man. I'm the man around here. You got to understand, I'm the man. Okay. Are you really? Because I remember doing a study and I had to speak at a men's conference one time some years ago. And the topic that they gave me was, what is love? Help me understand as a man. Right. And God began to, during the study, God began to reveal to me, he said, you know, it takes nothing for a man to know that he's supposed to be the man. Every man know that. I'm supposed to be the man, right? And they'll beat their chest with that. I'm supposed to be the man. And then he said, God spoke to me, he said, do you not understand what that means though? He said, it says that in the Bible that the man's supposed to teach his wife at home, right?
Yes.
So what God began to tell me, he said, every line of everything he's supposed to be leading. So the first source of love that my children see shouldn't be from their mom. It should be from me because I'm the head. I'm leading.
Yes.
Right? When the first unction of my son seeing what a provider looks like, it shouldn't be from his mom. It should be from me. The first sign of compassion that my son sees, it should be from me, not his mom. Right? It's an automatic thing for her.
Yes.
You understand? You're born to be that.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think that's why we have so many young men now that they rather live at home, and if they're not living at home, they rather live off of a woman because the woman has been that head for them, and they go from mom and then they go from the girlfriend. And the reason why I bring that up is because I had a friend that went to high school with me. We were really cool. And she got hooked up with this. She moved into this apartment complex. She met this guy who was staying with his mama. And then he started staying with her and got her pregnant. And at the first of the month when her check was gone, he goes back home to mama. And he come back at the beginning of the month. She ended up with 3 kids from this guy. And he didn't try to, be the provider that she needed and the leader in the home that the children needed. So do you think that may be a reason why?
I think it plays a part, but I think at the same time, it goes back to what did she call him? Did she call him a man? That's not a man. Mm-hmm. A man is made to provide. Mm-hmm. He's made to lead and take care of, mm-hmm. right? But so many guys have gotten this role reversed mm-hmm. that they should be taken care of mm-hmm. because the nature of a woman is to nurture, mm-hmm. is to be a helpmeet.
Yes.
The key is help meet. Mm-hmm. So you got to be involved in something for her to help with, mm-hmm. not whole meat.
Yeah, that's true.
You get what I'm saying?
Yes, I agree.
And the thing about it is they become lazy. Mm-hmm. It goes back to their ego, kicks in. You know what? She ain't going nowhere. Mm-hmm. I know I done tapped her heart. Mm-hmm. She can't pull away from me. All right? Mm-hmm. They say stuff like this. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And they stand like firmly on that. Mm-hmm. Like it's a badge of honor. Like, look, I can do whatever I want to do. And because she loved me, she ain't going nowhere. So I can act how I want to act. I can do what I want to do. Mm-hmm. But that's not how it works. Right? Mm-hmm. Because everybody has a breaking point. But it goes back to the choices that people make. All right? You have to want to be the man in every area. Mm-hmm. You know? Yes. Put it to you like this. You spoke about earlier that we're about to be 18 years. Shout out to my wife. And I can't think of a time where I don't want to make her life as easy as possible. Mm-hmm. And I'm always trying to figure out how I can do more and more and more for her. But the key is she requires that. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yes.
She wouldn't put up with me being any other way. Mm-hmm. Right? She knows her value, and that's the biggest key.
Man, we're going to have to take a break right there. Man, this is so good. I want you to stay tuned to the Color Outside the Box podcast with our guest, Tre Cook, and we're going to continue this topic on marriage and relationship from a male perspective. Stay tuned.
What's up, everybody? Trey here to tell you about one of the best gym experiences in Mobile, Embrace Fitness Training Center. Embrace Fitness is more than just a gym. We offer personal training, speed and agility training, golf simulator, golf fitness, boot camp classes, childcare, and even powerlifting. We're open Monday through Friday, 5 a.m. to 10 p.m., and Saturday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. We love families, and kids are welcome. At Embrace Fitness, we believe that a family that works out together will stay together and live healthier and happier lives. So embrace the new you. We're located on Airport Boulevard near Cody Road. Try Embrace Fitness Training Center today. Your first visit is on me.
Princess Creative Productions can provide affordable and professional video services for small to mid-sized businesses. Our in-studio virtual set shoots start as low as $200. Let our expert get to work on your next video project. Call 251-421-4490 to book your next shoot.
And we are back on the Color Outside the Box podcast, and we're sitting here with our guest, Tre Cook. Now, Tre, that was a very powerful statement you made right before we went to break. You got to say that again. Say it again.
Well, what I was talking about is the fact of me always wanting to make life for my wife better. Mm-hmm. All right. And I was saying that she requires that. Mm-hmm. And the reason why she requires that because she understands her value. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what's lost in our society when it comes to young ladies.
Yes.
They don't understand their value because they didn't go to the source to understand who they were created to be. Mm-hmm. The Bible talks about, it says that a man that finds a wife finds a good thing and finds favor with the Lord, right? Yes. Mm-hmm. Favor is how much blessings is bestowed on your life. Mm-hmm. So you telling me that my wife, that the amount of blessing that's bestowed on my life is tied to her. Mm-hmm. So how do I treat my favor bad?